Welcome to the first episode of Quidditch Today. I'm your host, Gloria Bonilla, and we have a great show for you. First, let me tell you a little bit about our show. Quidditch Today is the new weekly web show by the Quidditch Post, where we'll be talking all about the exciting things happening in the world of Quidditch. Make sure you check in each Tuesday to get up-to-date information from the most important people in Quidditch. Let's start with some current events. 2 weeks ago, the Mighty and Amazing Quercs took home the Barcelona Mustaches Time title. We'll be interviewing Jan Mikolajczak later on in the show to find out about how he led his team to victory. Coming up next weekend, U.S. Quidditch has 6 tournaments planned, with the crown jewel being the 5th annual Breakfast Taco Tournament. As promised, we have with us now Jan Mikolajczak to talk to us about the Mighty and Amazing Quercs and all the things he's doing in Quidditch. Jan, you just captained the Mighty and Amazing Quercs to a second straight Barcelona Mustaches Time title. How does that feel?
Oh, super excited. It was a fantastic tournament. I got to, see all my friends again, and winning was the cherry on the cake, which just made the whole experience even better.
Last week it was announced that there would be a standing Team UK. As a 2-time Team UK player, what are your thoughts about that?
Really excited as well. And this is something that a lot of us, practically all the players, were really in favor of. We all felt that it's going to make the team stronger and more cohesive, and it also is going to allow for an even better process for choosing the best players in the country. So we were all in favor of that, and we're just waiting for UK's decisions on what's going to happen. And we got the new good news, so we're all really, really excited.
Great. Now, can you elaborate on why you feel like that'll help Team UK have better players?
So, because of the nature of a standing team, where you can have practices throughout the year rather than just in the lead up to a particular tournament, you can reevaluate players at all times. You can also reevaluate candidates at all times at all the events that are happening throughout the season and in the off season, if that's how you want to do things. And I think that that's going to allow for a much better match sort of team that players can be watched and evaluated at a more sort of at a rate which matches the rate of development of Quidditch much better, because new players pop up all the time with really great talents, and you need to be able to see that and to reevaluate that all the time, I think.
For sure. That's really interesting. Now, outside of playing, you also co-founded the Blue Hawk Quidditch Supply company. What's it been like producing equipment for the Quidditch community?
Luke and I started it almost on a whim, just thinking, hey, let's do it, see what gets us. And we've done a bunch of tournaments at this point, some of the biggest ones in this part of the world. We've had quite a few teams at this point, and it is really good that we can be that someone that they go to, and sort of almost as a default. We want to play Quidditch. That's the guys we need to talk to, and that's the equipment we need to get. Rather than the situation that sort of we had to go through 3 years ago of like Quidditch. How do we go about that? You could build our own hoops and everything. Now, it wasn't personally us who've gone through that trouble for Oxford, but that same experience is now has an alternative of buy some hoops from these guys. We also feel like it's helping Quidditch as a whole, as a sport, in terms of its image to the outside community, where you can just demonstrate that it is a viable commercial and sort of economic industry, so to speak. while, at the same time we're keeping with the sort of almost underground vibe of Quidditch, and it's just close-knit community.
It really is. Now, the season is starting for you soon. What are your goals personally and your goals for how you do on the Chimeras this year?
So last year I started reading. It was a bit of a shake-up in my game, as I was mostly primarily and almost exclusively a chaser up until that point. And I really feel like I've come into that role quite well, but I still lack a lot of experience that some of the leaders in UK and in the world have. So I really want to work on that part of my game. Really, step it up another notch. Combine the experience with the energy I already have, and do as well as I can there. In terms of the Chimeras, it's a question that probably partially relates to Abby Whiteley, our new captain. We'll see where things get them, but we'll always be aiming for the top spots in all the competitions we take part in. But we only aim to achieve that through really good team spirit and club spirit as well.
No, that's great. You are generally a chaser, correct? How long have you been chasing?
Yeah, so when I first started, basically for a good year and a half or 2 years, I've only chased. But about a year and a half ago, I started reading for fun with the Quercs to start with. And I thought that was just a sort of secondary thing that I would do, for fun in tournaments where it doesn't really matter. And then all of a sudden, it looked like I was quite needed as a leader for the Chimeras, and that really turned out to work quite well. So it's been a bit of a mix of things at the moment. I was reading for larger part of the season, but then I was chasing for the UK. I think I'm going to be leaning more and more towards speeding as time goes by. But I still enjoy chasing it. I don't think I could ever give it up altogether.
So, last question. Do you have any advice for all the Quidditch players out there in the world?
Sure. The one biggest thing I think is doing it because you love it. That's the only thing I've ever really looked for in Quidditch was the fun that it gives me, the time that it lets me spend with really amazing and friendly and lovely people. And all the other goals, they're secondary, and they come out as a result of enjoying yourself, of doing things because you can, because they're exciting, because why not? So yeah, keep it fresh, keep it exciting, keep it fun.
Great. That's good advice. It really is. Some people get really caught up in the competition aspect of things, and that can, make it a lot less fun when that's all you're worried about is winning. And Quidditch in itself, is kind of a hard sport when nobody else understands what it is. So definitely keeping a positive spirit and doing it for the fun of things is definitely good advice. So I have another question for you. Can you tell me about your famous dreadlocks?
Oh, what exactly do you want to know? I mean,
How long have you had them?
I've heard rumors that some of my powers come from them. I'm not sure they're true. I really hope not, because I think I will cut off one day, and I hate to, start sacking you for that.
So how long have you had dreadlocks?
I think about 4 years now.
And they don't bother you while you're playing?
I did get beat on them in Barcelona, which was really annoying. As you know, beat to the hex still counts. They do take up a bit more space than anyone else's hair, I guess. Yeah, I obviously they don't bother me enough to get rid of them yet.
Yeah, definitely.
I quite know them, and I kind of like to think about it as resistance training. So I hope to be like, 3 times as fast.
When you finally do cut them off, you'll be stronger, better, faster.
That's right.
That's great. That's great. So Jan, can you tell me what is a quirk?
So a quirk is one of us, but the name came from putting together Quidditch and Mercs because it was a team created out of Mercs at a sort of random tournament at some point. And then the Mighty and Amazing came in later when we decided to actually make it a team that lasted more than that single event.
So there's been some speculation that your rivals, the Dirks, created their name as a joke off of your name. Is there anything to that?
More like a rip-off, I think.
Do you think they are copying you?
I mean, they obviously sound very similar because it's got the same roots of something Mercs.
Yeah.
There's this Durham Mercs because that's where the core of the players came from.
Oh.
But yeah, they came after us, so I guess there's a little bit of copycatting in that.
Well, that must be because you guys are so good. Oh, great. Well, thank you so much, Jan, for coming on this show. I really appreciate it, and I hope we get to interview you again sometime.
Thank you very much. That was my pleasure.
Speaking of USQ tournaments, I have with us Stew Driflot, who is one of the major players from the Northwest region. Welcome to the show, Stew.
Hi.
Now, you're one of the founders of the Boise State team, which won a regional championship last year. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you again.
Now, how have you seen the Northwest region grow since you started Quidditch?
Well, I mean, when we first started, there was University of Idaho and UBC and WWU, and that was kind of like the teams.
Wow.
And so, I mean, it took us a full year to get started, and then we played our first game ever against U of I, and that was fun. We won. It was like the scariest moment of my life at that point. And then since then, like, I can't speak for the region because haven't been there with them and seeing how they've been growing. But like Idaho has grown immensely. And I think Boise State could be a huge front runner for like one of the best teams ever this year. And we aren't playing with soccer goals and hula hoops anymore, but like legit equipment. And that's thanks to like huge thanks to Peterson and all those innovations. But we'll keep growing and be like everyone else soon enough.
Yeah, I really hope so. Now, last year you were given the honor of snitching the World Cup final game. How did that feel?
Well, I don't know. That's what my goal was to do the final and to get like the award with it. When I was decided to fly down there and compete, but now I don't want to snitch anymore. I did the best that I could, so I'm satisfied. I'll do it for funsies, but I never did it for funsies in the beginning. Okay, I'm serious about things.
I can tell. So this past summer, it was announced that Canadian teams are not going to be joining USQ tournaments. What are your thoughts about this?
Can you repeat the first half of that?
This past summer, it was announced that Canadian teams aren't going to be playing the USQ tournaments. What are your thoughts about this policy?
Well, I would consider Boise State and UBC to be rivals in terms of teams, and they're definitely our biggest competition in the Northwest. Sorry, anybody else. And the fact that they will be gone, or if this goes through and if they leave the USQ, I think it would be a little bit less difficult for Boise State to retain its title.
Oh.
and competition will be slightly less distinguished. But that is given its current growth. I think that if other teams step up and kind of develop with themselves and get more athletes, then they will foster more competition. But right now, it's very difficult for Boise State to stick like our heads deep in the Northwest and like find that as our only source of competition. If we want to travel and go south, go west, places where we're going to have a run for our money. Through.
I see. So what are your personal goals for this upcoming season?
Well, I want to dominate. I don't want to lose. I haven't lost in a while. Well, that's kind of false, but I haven't lost a big one in a while. And so we're going to Utah in 2 weeks. I'd like to win that tournament, Crimson Cup. I'd like to win our own tournament. I'd like to win top of Utah. I'd like to get first in Northwest Regionals again.
For sure.
I'd like to actually go to World Cup this year as a team.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to really show up and do like top 4. That'd be cool.
That would be. So speaking of your team going to the World Cup, I heard that you guys got a pretty decent grant recently.
Yeah, we've, I'm not sure how confidential our money situation we're going to talk about this, but we got a buttload. So, I mean, that's good, and we definitely will be going this year with already half of our fundraising done. So.
That's awesome. So other teams better watch out, huh?
Yeah, I'm angry now, so I'm going to play really well, I hope.
All right, and last question. Do you have any advice for all the players out there who are just starting teams?
People starting teams? Keep your head in the game. It's going to be very easy to kind of get distracted on wanting to do the best that you can in terms of ranking wise, or if you want to do the best for everybody and not necessarily win.
Yeah.
I think you got to really keep a good hybrid ability going with your team and getting an athletic based team, but also not allowing people to play. You know, it's all about fun to start it off, and once people are enjoying the game, then you can get good at it.
For sure. Do you have any advice to people playing who want to play snitch?
Keep your booty out and keep your eye on the prize. That's pretty much it.
Now, as you play snitch, since you've played so much, I have a few questions for you. I've noticed that you take the tactic of trying to more or less like protect yourself than running away as much. Is that a decent assumption of your tactics?
I'm a pretty skinny guy, and so I'm not too good at throwing people or really blowing people over. So, I mean, I'm going to use my length and use my arms to keep them out. And then once I have an ability to run forward, I'm just going to get into the open area and give myself a second to breathe. You know, taunt the crowd a little bit, make a joke, take a selfie. You know, and then I like to stay on half. I don't like to go into any of the zones. And I like to stand with the people that are watching me.
Do you think this is why you were awarded Fly Snitch at the World Cup?
I think I got that award because I wanted it the most. And I was so pissed at myself for having a poor performance in the first day.
Oh.
And so I really wanted to step up and, you know, prove to people that helped get me there that I was worth it. So that I think is the biggest draw.
So being the Fly Snitch, is that about being the best player or being the hottest snitch? Or
I'm definitely not the best. Like Gabe or Jack Bain Snitch, they're much better than me, and they got a lot more skill. But I think that it's kind of like my fact that I enjoy myself out there. I have fun with it. And I would definitely make the effort to do every game I could and to really fall hard. And I think that was it. 2, yeah. I'm not the best.
Well, you definitely did a really great job at the World Cup. So, one last question. You're also known for wearing really creative leggings.
Yeah.
Are these crazy leggings the secret to your success?
No, actually, they're kind of a downfall because it costs so much money. But I just got 2 new pairs yesterday, so watch out.
Do you think people get distracted by them and don't focus as much on the game?
No, I think that if you feel like you look good, you're gonna play good. So I just want to impress all the ladies out there.
Well,
And
don't
my
worry.
mom.
We're impressed, Stu.
Thanks.
Well, keep on doing what you're doing because you're doing a good job. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching and make sure to check in next week for more Quidditch Today.